Atma, Namaste, and welcome to this Founders Day lecture and meditation. Before we start, let's ask for blessings. To the Divine Supreme God, Divine Father, Divine Mother, to our beloved teacher, Master Tuahoksui, Mahaguji Mailing, to all the great ones, to all the holy masters, saints, archangels, holy angels, spiritual helpers. We humbly invoke for your blessings. Thank you for blessing our hearts, our minds, our souls, to be powerful and loving instruments to bring God's blessing to the entire earth. We thank you for this great opportunity and this privilege. We thank you in full faith. So be it. Right. Happy Founders Day. And I'd just like to take a few minutes here to share with you some of the insights, at least this student has by being with a teacher, and also guide you in a very simple meditation to just intensify that connection to our wonderful and loving teacher. All right. So for some of you who don't know, Grandmaster Tuahoksui, Tuahoksui is actually a dialect in China. It's Fujian or Fujian, right? In Mandarin, it's Cai Guo Rui. And Cai or Chua is the family name or surname, as in a lot of you know in the Chinese tradition, the last name comes first. It sounds strange, the last is first. Anyway, the name Guo Rui or Koksui, it means gift to the country. And for some of you who have really been touched by the teacher's teachings, it's a great gift. All right. So I'd like to start by sharing what Adi Shankara has shared with the world. Adi Shankara is a great teacher in India, and he said, all right, three rare things due only to the grace of God. Okay, in other words, these three blessings that we have, one is to have human birth, number two is for that thirst, that longing for liberation or oneness with God, and the third one, to have the love and the protection of a perfected teacher. All right, so let's break it down. What does this got to do with Founders Day? It's something like this. If you try to understand this, it goes back to, I remember what message was said one time when we were having this conversation. We're talking about, this technique in this tradition does this technique does that, in this spiritual school they do this. We went around and around and around, and it's interesting, after all that long discussion, you know what he said? He looked at me, he goes, the most important thing is to experience oneness with your higher soul. And I was thinking about that, I go, we can get so drowned in so many discussions, this technique will unite you with the universe, this technique will experience bliss, this technique will make you float in there, whatever. But when all is said and done, what they say in the US, where the rubber meets the road, is when the incarnated soul starts having a strong connection with the higher soul, that's where everything starts. Without that, you can kiss the rest goodbye. It doesn't really matter. So let's kind of go back to it, shall we? So the question is, where does this all start? The higher soul, in needing to evolve, need to learn lessons. And so the higher soul, in needing to learn lessons, need instruments in the lower worlds to experience what physical touch is like, right? To experience emotions, to experience thoughts. So in order to experience these sensations in the physical, emotional, mental world, the higher soul, which is made of pure energy and pure light, has to incarnate. It has to put itself inside a physical body to move with, put itself into an emotional body to feel with, and puts itself inside a mental body to think with. It's just like if I need to move around in the physical world, right, on land, I get into a car, an automobile. To travel in water, I get on a boat. To travel in the air, I get on the plane. So I'm the passenger, or in this case, let's say I'm the pilot, the driver, the captain. I'm the one moving the physical body. I'm moving my emotions. I'm moving my thoughts, or creating thoughts. So the higher soul, in learning lessons, has to experience these different experiences, if you will. So that part of the higher soul that is inside the physical, emotional, mental instruments is what you call the incarnated soul. It's still the higher soul, but it puts a portion of it. It's just like my hand is, okay, we'll use this guy, all right? Imagine I'm the higher soul. In order to learn lessons, I put a portion of myself into a physical, emotional body, physical body, so I can move around physically. I can feel, oh, lots of love, right? I can start thinking, processing information. So if my entire body is the higher soul, my hand is the incarnated or the lower soul, if you will. So in theosophy, they call the higher soul the ego, right? The one. And they call the incarnated soul the personality. Personality comes from the word persona, which is mask. All right. Anyway, so in order to learn lessons, the higher soul has to take human birth. So that's the first blessing. You got it? By the grace of God, in order for the higher soul to learn, it wants to experience human birth. Because it is only through this human birth that the higher soul can experience physical pleasure, physical pain, emotional love, emotional pain, right? Mental clarity, learning new things, at the same time experiencing some level of confusion, which forces a person to want to study more, and so on and so on. Get it? All right. So that said, the higher soul, the first blessing is to have human birth. The second blessing, longing for liberation. You go, what the heck does that mean? After you get in, right? Why does it want to get out? See, liberation is not just leaving. Liberation means whatever lessons that are learned, yeah? Whatever lessons that are learned, those lessons wants to be reabsorbed by the higher soul. In other words, the higher soul downloads a portion of itself, learns all the lessons, uploads it, so that the higher soul can evolve. So this process of download and upload, the uploading has a specific purpose. And that purpose is so that the incarnated soul, as it becomes with a higher soul, once with the higher soul evolves to a certain rate, that the higher soul experiences oneness where it came from, which is the divine spark. So if you took achieving oneness with the higher soul, you remember, St. Paul says you are body, soul, and spirit. Body means the soul got embodied. That's the incarnated soul, right? The soul is the higher soul. And the higher soul comes from the divine spark. So that said, the higher soul learns lessons. Whatever lessons are reabsorbed or absorbed by the higher soul evolves. At it hits a breaking point, that higher soul experiences oneness with the divine spark on a high level. So that person is now called God realized or oneness with God. Liberation. Let me put it another way. Why do you call it liberation? Without this so-called liberation, the higher soul had to just keep coming back, because lessons have not yet been learned. It's just like you keep going to school, you have to keep coming back until you graduate. Make sense? So if the soul has not yet graduated, it has to keep coming back. When it finally learned all the lessons and evolved to a certain rate, it can now experience oneness with a divine spark. No more karma has to be worked out. Well, it's liberated from the human chain. So, first blessing is what? To be able to experience human birth, to be able to learn these lessons. Second blessing is to have that longing to keep wanting to connect with God, to want to connect with the source. Make sense? Without that longing, there's no drive to do anything. So the fact that you have this longing, you are searching, that's a blessing. Do you notice there's some people could care less? They live through life, okay, they get a job, they make some money, thank God it's Friday, they have a little party, they get stoned, they get drunk, they get depressed, and what? Monday they go to work. Oh, finally Wednesday's hump day, they got over the hump. Oh, okay, great, it's Friday, party again. In other words, it's just like a downward spiral. Where's the excitement? Right? Of course, here's the good news. As it goes to yin, it'll go to yang. In other words, when they get so low, at some point, some people, that's the only time they get slapped back into realization. They go, wow, life is not just this. So they start searching for spirituality. Now, in your case, it's a blessing that even when things are good, you're already searching for oneness with God. So that's the second blessing. The third blessing, having the love, the teaching, the protection of a perfected sage or a teacher. Now, let's clarify that. In the Chinese tradition, you call the teacher Shifu, teacher father. Okay? Because in China, you look at the father as the first person who teaches you spirituality. That's one reason. In Japanese, you call the teacher sensei. Sensei, two Chinese words, xiansheng. To a Chinese person, you read the word, it just means mister. In Japanese, if you break it down, it has a deeper meaning. Xian means first or head. Sheng means born. The teacher is spiritually born ahead of you for many, many, many lifetimes, many incarnations, learned all the lessons that clarify them to teach you. Otherwise, what's the basis? You cannot have somebody who hasn't gone to school and start teaching. What are they going to teach you? Make sense? So what happens is something like this. The teacher, having a teacher to teach you, has many, many outstanding benefits. Number one, it's said a smart person learns from other people's mistakes. You can do it yourself. I mean, there's a lot of people out there which they say, "Oh, I don't need a teacher. I can get enlightened by myself." Go for it. It's just like saying, "I want to go from point A to point B. I don't have a map. I just know I'm going there somewhere." Well, good luck. You might get potholes. You might hit some bad turns. You can have detours. You can have dead ends, right? You can have areas that are bad areas. They get robbed. Or somebody can says, "Hey, I've been there and been back. You see this map? You go this route, you avoid this, you do this. This is the fast way to go." So, true. You can get experience enlightened by yourself. But I don't know about you. Common sense will tell you, why do it the hard way? But believe it or not, there are people like that. What's a kind way of saying it? They think too much of themselves. They're hiding a certain insecurity. So they think, "Oh, I can do it." The person who's smart says, "Why reinvent the wheel? There's someone who did it already. I just follow the guy. I'm not swallowing everything the person says. I analyze. I understand what's taught. Makes sense. I move forward." Common sense, right? So that's Shenseng Sensei, someone who is born ahead of you and learned and give you the quality information so you can use it to move forward closer to God. In India, you call it Guru. Guru means dispeller of darkness. As you know in science, there's no such thing as total darkness. If you say two rooms, you have two rooms, one is darker than the other, the darker room simply means has less light. So, when a person is in ignorance of who they are, there's less spiritual light in their life. The guru, the teacher, gives you light. The guru is the source of that light. When we say light, we're talking about spiritual teachings. The teacher gives you the spiritual teachings. You understand what to do, what not to do, based on the experience. You have a realization. That realization is the light. You have a realization, wow. That's why they say you're, at that point, a certain level of enlightenment. So the guru gives you this information, gives you the light, gives you the energy, so that you can progress on your path of liberation. The teacher does not make you dependent on them. The teacher allows you and helps you realize you are a being of light. Experience your true nature. Now that said, let's talk about Master Cho. Unlike most of you, I'm not the devotional type. I was never the devotional type. In fact, when I came into pranic healing, I was very skeptical. I was an engineer by trade. As most of you know, I didn't feel anything for the first 4 years. Even after 4 years, I was already teaching pranic healing. I could barely feel it. I couldn't even scan. The question is, why did I continue? I wasn't like some of the people whenever I started, "Oh, everybody's bowing," though. I didn't do any of that because you know why? My mind says, he's just a guy. Well, guess what happened? Little by little, I start to realize the genius of this person. The teachings, the healing. My wife who couldn't walk, with 2 weeks of pranic healing with a broken hip, she started walking. 5 weeks she was running. What else? I see people's life transformed. Even if I'm skeptical, I go, how could this waving my hands in the air and people waving their hands actually do something? I see results. And then I started to notice my life was so much about confusion. Going up and down. Sometimes it's good, sometimes not good. Emotionally, like a roller coaster. No clarity. Then over that period of time, as I simply followed, because the teacher is very logical. Do this, therefore this. He didn't say, do this, just trust me. So as I followed, I started noticing, hey, emotionally I'm calmer. Well, I noticed there's a crisis. I used to start screaming, yelling. Now I'm calm. I analyze the situation. I think of a solution. I move forward. There was a transformation that I could not deny. But more importantly, I saw that with the people who were touched by the teachings. Then at some point, I didn't have this outward devotion, but deep in my heart I go, he's a great teacher. At that point, I devoted my life to sharing his teachings, just like he's changed mine to change as many people as possible. And so, it's sad that he had to leave the body, but it is only the body that died. The teacher is the soul, the spiritual self. And so, before he left the body, he left us 3 instructions. I'd like to cover that right now, if you don't mind. The last instruction he gave were quite simple. Number 1 is practice diligently. And I meditated on these 3 last instructions, and it just blew my mind. So I'll share with you my insight, if you don't mind. Practice diligently. Anybody can practice, but any of us practice diligently? It's just like, I have this great technique. Okay, great. So you do it. How many times have you done it? Once? Are there other instances you might have the opportunity to use it? Yeah, why didn't you do it? No, I forgot. That's not diligently. I'll give you an example. Many years ago, somebody asked me about the Kriya Shakti, the prosperity class. And they said, what's in it? So I told them about this and that and different facets of it. And they go, wow, that is great. And somehow I talked about tithing, giving money to charity to generate good karma. I went through that for maybe 30 seconds or so. And this lady on the phone says, oh, tithing, yeah, it's great. I did it once. It worked. And I'm thinking, you just did it once? And I didn't want to make her feel bad, so I just kept my mouth shut. Then I meditated and I go, if something works, why would you only do it once? If the teachings help you, why would you just do it once or twice? Wouldn't you do it consistently? Right? If brushing your teeth cleans your teeth, it's good for oral hygiene, would you do it one day and expect for the rest of your life your teeth will be in good shape? Or you go to the gym, you go work out one day, you go, okay, that's it, I'm good for the rest of my life. It doesn't make sense. What more, if you can develop physical muscles, don't you think you need to do a little more to develop your spiritual muscles? So when he said practice diligently, it made sense. It made you focus on what was given to you, use it, practice it, so you benefit from it. So that's the first of the last 3 instructions. The second was purify yourself. When I read that, I go, whoa, that came out of nowhere. Then I reflect back on the days I was with the teacher, at least physically. And it's amazing, as difficult as it was, one of the things that he always did with me, well, not always, a lot of times, enough times, like a sledgehammer in my head, he would tell me, you need to get rid of that pride, you're getting big-headed, or you need to get rid of this. He would actually name my faults, my character defects, and teach me how to get rid of them. It's so humiliating. I shared this story with a lot of you. He came to our office, brought me to the next room, had me a piece of paper with a pen, and a lot of you know about the blue triangle technique, right? That's to remove a lot of negative thoughts, negative emotions, negative tendencies. He actually named 11 character defects, 11 of them. I was thinking, why 11? Now I think back, maybe there's a defect in every chakra. Who knows? So he had me write it, and he watched me do the blue triangle technique to get rid of all these negative energies and tendencies one by one. And he would even scan. Do it again. And afterwards, he gave me instructions what to do. And later on, he said something very interesting. He said, even if the teacher want to bless you, even when God and the higher beings bless you, you can only go so high until our character defects, our negative tendencies will drag us back down. So as you practice diligently, your chakras get big, right? More divine energy come down, and guess what happens? As the chakra increase in size, whatever is inside will also grow. If you have seeds of anger, seeds of dishonesty, seed of this and that, guess what happened? They sprout. So when you practice diligently, things will come to the surface. Instead of be giving up, you realize, oh, the teacher said this will come up. Let me use techniques to purify, to get rid of it, so you can go forward. Makes sense, right? So practice diligently. Continue to purify yourself. Now people ask, when do I stop? You stop when you don't have to incarnate anymore. In other words, when there's no more karma, that means there's no more faults within us, so you don't have to clean anything. I don't know about you, but it'll be a while for me. But you know the good news? The principle of yin and yang. Within yin, there's yang. Within yang, in yang, there's yin. When you get rid of these negative qualities, the positive qualities will swell up. Make sense? So, as we keep getting rid of all these negative qualities, the good qualities is able to shine through us. And that said, the third of the last three instructions is, don't keep it to yourself. I mean, if you have something that has transformed your life, if the teacher has touched your life, don't you think it's only I personally look at it, an obligation that we should share this with as many people as possible? Why do you think I do this? I could be sitting home doing nothing. Well, not really, but you get the idea. Why do I do this? Because part of me says it'd be so ungrateful for me to the teacher. As he changed my life, can I just say a little bit of thank you by making sure that these blessings and teachings I receive are also accessible to other people? Spreading the teachings. If you have a cure for cancer, if you have a cure for any type of ailment, you're not going to lock yourself in a room and afraid that it might get lost, would you? You start thinking, okay, he could use this, she could use this, she could use this, he could use it. You think of people that you want to spread, you help with. That's why we do what we do. You practice diligently, and then what? Keep purifying as stuff comes up. The last one, give and share. So by the time you put the whole thing together, now you know why the third of the rare blessings is to have the love and the protection of a perfected teacher, a sage. Now we'll take it one step further. Okay? Let me share something with you. There's a book called The Monad, M-O-N-A-D, written by Charles Ledbetter, I believe. He talked about a student, a spiritual practitioner, who was given instructions by his inner spiritual teacher to show love and gratitude, devotion to a physical teacher that was assigned by his inner spiritual teacher. So this student, following simple instructions, every day, in his meditation, will feel love, gratitude, and respect, and all the good stuff, and just shared with his physical teacher, energetically, lovingly, projected, whatever. And the interesting part is this. As he projected this love, gratitude, and good energy and respect towards the teacher, he started feeling very, very good. Well, we know, as you give, so shall you receive. And if the teacher is quite advanced, as you project 1 pound, it comes back 100 pounds, right? It's magnified. So he would do this every day because his inner spiritual teacher says, do it every day. So he did it every single day. And every single day he did it, he would get more blissful and more blissful. And it lasts longer. And at one point, something interesting happened. He started experiencing oneness with the consciousness of this teacher, and he expanded even more. And this guy was relentless. So he did keep doing it, right? At some point, he started experiencing oneness with the teacher and his spiritual teacher. He started experiencing oneness with his inner spiritual teacher, the inner spiritual teacher of the physical teacher. Of course, I told you he was relentless, right? So he kept going on and on. At some point, his expansion of consciousness kept, getting wider and wider and stayed longer and longer. So even after he comes back from meditation, he'll be in bliss for hours and sometimes days. So he kept going. At some point, he experienced oneness with the consciousness, not only of the inner spiritual teacher, but great spiritual teachers all over the world. Talk about oneness. It's just like you tap into a lake, before you know it, you're sensing the ocean. So he kept doing this meditation, okay? At some point, he starts experiencing oneness with all the great spiritual teachers on earth. He starts experiencing oneness with the essence of God in the earth. And he keeps expanding. And when I showed that to Master Cho, I told him, at that time, he goes, exactly the point. In India, you call that meditation the guru. In Tibet, you call that guru yoga. Unfortunately, for the Western mind, it says, you are a bunch of, you're in a cult, you have, false devotion, blah, 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 and all this stuff. They don't understand it's all about energy. You're not just blindly accepting what a teacher says. It's an inner attitude. As you project love, it comes back. And at some point, your connection to the teacher, it gets stronger and stronger. And guess what happens? If the teacher you're connecting to has a big spiritual cord, so that means when you're one with the teacher is one with his or her teacher, one is with the great spiritual teachers, they're all connected. So in other words, by turning on the faucet, you got access to the Pacific Ocean. You get the idea? So, one time, during a clairvoyance class, I now understand what happened to one of the students. So Master Cho, he used to do this a long time ago. In the later years, he didn't do that anymore. So he would just stand there, and he said, okay, everyone look at my heart. The chest, the heart chakra. And people look, some people say, I see light, I see this. And one of the students started looking, and she was almost in tears. I think she was in tears. And she says, I see galaxies. I see the solar system, the galaxies. I almost see it's like I'm seeing the whole universe. Master Cho was quiet. That's all he said. I didn't understand it then later on I did. Essentially, as she was so receptive, she looked at the heart of the teacher. Since the teacher is one with his teacher, and his teacher is one with God and one with all, she was able to get a glimpse of oneness with all. This is the basic foundation why you say namaste to someone. You say namaste, you say the spiritual essence in me, right? The soul in me, the spiritual essence in me greets the soul in you. So at some point, you start to realize the essence of God within me is greeting the essence of God within you. And then when you realize this person is one with God, guess what? By saying namaste, greeting this person, you're greeting God. What if the person you're greeting has a gigantic spiritual cord? So we'll end this session with a meditation. All right? So put your hands on your heart. Just close your eyes. Inhale, exhale slowly. Recall what the teacher has done for you, directly or indirectly, through his teachings. How has it transformed your life? How has it changed your life? Your physical health, your emotions, your thoughts, your finances. How has the presence of the teacher and his teachings changed your connection to God? Feel love and gratitude. Visualize Master Cho in front of you. Take a deep breath and offer that love to the teacher and say thank you. To Master Cho Kok Sui, I offer this love, gratitude, and respect. Thank you. As you learn to give and give and give, by the law of karma, it comes back, whether you like it or not. So learn to receive. Thank you for the blessings. Take a deep breath. Feel it. Exhale. Be still. Inhale once more. Receive the blessings and the love that comes back. Exhale and absorb. Inhale again. Exhale. Feel it. Do you notice the love and the gratitude has increased? Now take a deep breath. Hold it. Now we'll offer it to the teacher again. To Master Tokoksui, we offer this love, gratitude, and respect to you. Now be still and receive. Say, Master Tokoksui is the soul. Namaste. Now take a deep breath. Feel the love and the gratitude you have for how your life has been transformed, even the smallest bit. Just say thank you. Exhale and say to Master Tokoksui, the higher soul, I offer this love and gratitude for what I've learned and how your teachings have transformed my life. Just offer it to the teacher and just say to Master Tokoksui, the higher soul, I offer this love and gratitude and respect. Now just be still. If you're sensitive, you might feel the energy coming back to at even higher frequency. Just inhale and receive. Exhale, assimilate. One more time, inhale the love and the blessings that come back. Exhale, assimilate. Now inhale. Feel the love, the gratitude, and respect. Just say, Master Tokoksui, the divine spark, I thank you. Exhale. Offer this love, this gratitude, respect to the divine spark. The teacher is not the body. The teacher is the soul, the higher soul. The teacher is the divine spark. Just be still. Keep offering love and gratitude for how the teachings from the teacher has changed your life and the lives of others. Take a deep breath. Receive. Exhale and offer it back. Let it compound many, many times. Just be still. As the love and the blessings come back, take a deep breath. Exhale, say thank you, and offer it to the teacher again. Thank you to the divine spark of the teacher. Master Tokoksui, not the body. The teacher is the soul. The teacher is the higher soul. The teacher is the divine spark. Master Tokoksui, the teacher, is one with his teacher, one with all the great spiritual teachers. Master Tokoksui is one with God and one with all. Now take a deep breath. Feel the love and gratitude in your heart. Exhale and offer it to the teacher. Offer it to all the great spiritual teachers and offer it to God. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Again, take a deep breath. Receive it. Exhale and offer it. Exhale. We thank you. Again, inhale. Exhale. We thank you. Now just be still. Open your palms in your lap. Just be still and receive. Inhale the love and the blessings. Exhale and share it with your family. Again, inhale the love and the blessings from God and all the great spiritual teachers and Master Talk Sui. Exhale and share it with your family, your loved ones, and your friends. Inhale the love and the blessings again. Exhale and share it with the entire earth. So be it. Now just be still. We thank you. All right, you may open your eyes. How's the meditation? You guys good? All right, so yeah, it was good. I hope you somehow felt the love and the caring of the teacher. You know, I'm just a student, and I do my best to share as much as I can, hopefully through my experiences and experiences of other people who've been with him, so that you get a sense of who the teacher is. But when all is said and done, if you really want to know the teacher, you should practice the teachings. You know, learn the techniques, use it in yourself, use it on other people, practice all the teachings, and the teacher lives in your heart. And for me, especially when I work on difficult cases, you know, I remember how much time, how much sacrifice the teacher made with his physical body, with his family, his time, so that I can have these precious gifts that not for me to hoard, but to be able to share it with more people. So, that said, happy Founders Day. We wish you happiness. May God and Guru bless you, your family, and your loved ones. Atma, namaste. We'll see you next time. Take care. Happy Founders Day. Bye.